Hi Gens, welcome back to another video. If you guys like my background, let me know. This is like something new that I'm trying. My background looks a little bit different. But today we are going to be reviewing the Fenty Beauty Concealer and the Fenty Beauty Translucent Powder. It actually launched January 11th and I am so late, you guys. I know there are so many reviews on YouTube about the powder and the concealer, but I still wanted to review it for you guys and tell you guys my honest opinion, how I feel about both of them. And I will also be reviewing a couple other products too that I received. So if you guys are interested, just keep on watching the video. And before you get started, make sure that you do subscribe to this channel if you are new. And also make sure to give this video a thumbs up. That really lets me know that you guys are enjoying these type of videos. So with that being said, let's go on and get started. Vámonos. So now that we have moisturized skin and it feels amazing, we're gonna go in now with a primer. So I'm gonna start off by priming my face, and I'm gonna go in with this Laura Mercier foundation primer. This product I received from Influencer recently and I have not tried it at all, so we're gonna see and take a look at how it works. Now, a foundation primer, you guys, is something that you really have to wear for a whole day to see if it does blur out your skin, if it keeps the foundation in place. So I'm gonna put this right in my T-zone, and I think I applied a little bit too much, so you don't need a lot. I always like go ham when it comes to my primers, but you really don't need this much, you guys. You literally only need to dab a few here and there, and that's it. So right away, this feels amazing. I really love that it's not sticky and it's not silicone based. It feels almost like the Tatcha water cream when you do apply this. And it has a little bit of a scent, but nothing overbearing as well. And it feels really hydrating, you guys. It's almost like you're applying moisturizer to your face. Anyways, we're gonna let that sit for a little bit. Now we're gonna go in with a foundation. The next product that I am going to try for my foundation is going to be the Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. Good thing about this foundation, you guys, is that it comes with a pump, so it's so much easier to apply. And I love foundations that really come with a pump. Now, the information about this foundation is that it's a flawless radiance perfecting foundation, so it's going to give you more of a luminous finish. By the way, the foundation shade is golden. I do feel like it's blending quite nicely, which is good, and it's definitely giving me that like radiant effect, which is good as well. You guys know I do love matte finishes, but the thing about matte is that sometimes it can be a little bit drying, so you want to definitely moisturize your face before applying this foundation. As you can see, it does give you almost like a radiant finish to your face. It does look pretty good. I am loving the finish. I love that it's not completely matte, that you do see a little bit of a radiance, almost like a semi glow, almost like your skin is trying to like peek through. It's really nice. I do like it. Now, I do have to say that in certain areas it has kind of like just sitting on top of my face, which is right around the chin area. Could just be because I'm very dry, you guys. So like I said, be very cautious when you do wear this foundation if you do have dry skin. So the next two products that we're gonna try is the Fenty Beauty Concealer and the Fenty Beauty Translucent Powder. Now, I did get this a few days after it launched, so I am a little bit late with this review. I know there are plenty of reviews out there about this concealer and this translucent powder, but I still wanted to review for you guys for this video and give you guys my own honest opinion. It does say that you are supposed to match your concealer to your foundation. So if you are a shade 300, you will get the 300 concealer. So that is what I did. So we're gonna see if that works for me. This is the Fenty Beauty Foundation in 300, and this one is the 300 in the concealer. So you can see the concealer is a tad lighter than the foundation, so I think that is what they meant by matching your concealer and your foundation together when you do buy the concealer. So I'm going to apply this directly underneath the eyes. Now, there were a little bit of mixed reviews with the concealer. Some said that it's a little bit drying, some said that it settled in the fine lines and all of that. So we're gonna take a look and see if that is what it does, because we definitely don't want that. And I do have to say that the concealer does feel really creamy underneath the eyes, which is good. Now I feel like I could have gotten a little bit lighter with the concealer, and I feel like by letting the concealer sit there, it's going to give you a full coverage effect. Although like some concealers can be really hard to work with, this, you guys, seems to be very easy. It's blending quite nicely around the eyes and around the face, and so far I do like the concealer. So it says in the concealer that it's supposed to be instant photo soft coverage for all, long wear, lightest air, and crease proof. So before I begin with showing you guys the translucent powder, I did let the concealer kind of sit a little bit underneath my eyes just to see if it has settled down in my fine lines, because I do have some lines underneath my eyes. And I do want to show you guys one thing about the concealer. Now the concealer did blend very nicely, very smoothly, but the one thing that I do have to say is that it did settle on my lines underneath my eyes. I don't know if you guys can see this right there. I do feel like a lot of concealers do that, but there are concealers, like I will tell you guys, my Tarte Shape Tape does not do that. I've used that for a long time. I never like have a problem with it. So before I apply the translucent powder, I do want to make sure I blend that. Now we're going to move on to the next product from Fenty Beauty. They did launch a face finishing powder, and this one is the Pro Filter Instant Retouch Setting Powder. This one is in the shade Butter. The one called Butter I feel is more translucent, and it kind of reminds me of the Laura Mercier powder, so that's why I got it. The setting powder does come with the powder, so if you are traveling and you want to take it to go, you can put the cover on and it will not spill all over. So that is a good thing about this. So I just applied a little bit here because we are going to apply this right underneath the eyes. I do have to say that a little of this goes a long way, because when I first applied this, you guys, I was very dry. Like I left my underneath my eyes very dry. It almost gave me like that feeling of like something tightness going around my eyes, and it was not good. So I do say go a little bit with this. Do not try to bake with this, because I just don't feel like baking with this powder is how you're supposed to apply it. You're really just supposed to apply a little bit underneath and just wherever you do need it. And just a little bit around my mouth, because I already feel like with the foundation I'm really getting a little bit dry in this area, so I don't want to apply any more powder there because I know it's going to make me really dry. So I'm going to also apply this right around my eyes, because we are going to set it for the eyeshadow application. Like you can tell, like this literally made my pores disappear, which I do like. So the next product we're going to go in with is going to be the eyes, and as you guys can see in my hand, I'm holding it right now. It is the Norvina Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I bought this about 2 months ago and I never actually tried it. I'm going to try this palette out for today's video. Now we're going to go in with the shade Love, which is a really nice pink look, and I'm going to apply this all around my eyes. This is going to be the transition for the whole eye look, of course. So far, as you can see, like the colors are blending beautifully. You can see there is a little bit of kickback there, as you can see from the palette. It's nothing like the Subculture palette that came out a long time ago. I'm going to go in with the color Passion, which is this over here. I'm going to go in now with a cut crease, and I'm going to take the same Fenty Beauty concealer, and I just want to show you guys that you can create a cut crease with this as well. So I created this eye look already, but I want to show you guys what I did. So I'm going to take this color and I'm just going to apply this right on the corner. And then the next color we're going to go in with is going to be Celestial, which is this grab a smaller tiny brush. So I'm going to go in with the Morphe E35 brush, and I'm going to grab the color Wild Child, which is this pink shade over here. Is that right in the inner corner of the eye? I'm going to apply a little bit of this with my fingers of the color Celestial and apply this right in the middle part there. You can see, like, I think these shadows work a lot better when you do apply it with your finger, but with the brush it does work well too. I'm gonna go back to Wild Child and just blend these two together. I'm gonna take a flat brush. I'm gonna go in with the color Love, and I'm just going to apply this right underneath the bottom of my eyelashes. Alright guys, so now that the eye is complete, I'm going to go off camera and I'll be right back. I'm going to finish off the eye, putting on some falsies and some eyeliner, and then I'll come back and we'll begin the rest of the video. Hey guys, so I'm back. I just finished doing my lips as well. So I went in with the Ciate London Glitter Flip. This one is in the shade Whisper, and this color, you guys, is so pretty. It's like a mauve tint color. We're gonna go in now with a palette. Now the next thing that I do want to show you guys is a palette that I recently received from Sigma Beauty. It is the Sigma Sculpt Highlight and Contour palette. You can use this palette pretty much for every skin tone. You have medium, dark, and light colors, and on top of here you have the highlighter colors. So it is really pretty. So we're gonna go in with our contour first, and I'm going to try the color Faking It and the color Throw Shade. We're gonna mix these two together, and we're going to apply that right on the hollows of our cheeks to create that contoured look. Anytime you work with contour, you guys, you always want to go in a little bit light hand with it. Don't go in too harsh, because sometimes your makeup can look a little bit muddy if you go in too hard with your contour. So I like to also bring it up my forehead, and I'm also going to bring it down my chin too in a little bit. Now taking the Sigma Soft Angle Contour Brush, I'm gonna pick up the color Throw Shade. I love the names, by the way, of these of this palette. I love the name of the colors. It's so funny. Throw Shade, Faking It, 24K, Poppin', like what? So now that we're done with the contour, I think we're looking pretty dimensional, which we do want when we are doing our makeup. We're gonna now put this away, but I will go back to this palette in a little bit because I do want to try the highlights in this palette. So I'm gonna put this away, and now I'm gonna take another palette from Sigma. So the next palette that we're gonna go in with is the Blush Cheek palette by Sigma Beauty. The colors here are also very universal. As you can see, you get a variety of taupey, pink, orangey blushes. This palette is buildable, so you do want to go a little bit light hand with the palette as well, and I'm going to show you guys in a minute what I mean by that. I'm going to take the Sigma Powder Blush. This one is F10 by Sigma. I'm going to go in with the color Mod Mauve, which is my favorite color from this palette, and you do want to go a little bit light with this too, because remember, like I said, this palette is buildable. And as you can see, like, it creates like a nice soft look. Pretty much overall, I do like the palette. I love the blushes. Now, there is some darker blushes too if you have a darker skin. Now we're going to close this blush palette. Now we're going to go back to the highlight and contour palette, and I'm going to take the highlighter shade in this palette called Shine On, which is this one over here. Now this, I believe it's a little bit too champagne for me. I like mine to look a little bit more golden for my highlight, so sometimes I will mix this color with the color 24K just to give me a good mixture of both. But for today, we're just going to go use the color Shine On because I do want to show you how it looks like. I'm going to go in with my Morphe M510 brush. I'm going to take that color. As you can tell, like, the highlight is quite nice. And now what I like to do is go in circular motion, and I like to bring it also right on the temple here. Like I said, this palette is also buildable, so if you don't want that drastic glow to your face, you can just go very light with this and just bring it to your cheeks. So that is pretty much the Sigma Sculpt and Highlighting Contour Palette and the Cheek Palette. Now, if you are interested in the two palettes, you can use my code JETA10 to receive 10% off at sigmabeauty.com. You can also receive 10% off on all the products that they do have there. So now I am going to set my makeup. I'm going to take my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This, you guys, is amazing. I love this. Now, I do give it a little bit of shake before applying it to my face, and I will apply it, and I love the mist. You guys will see how fine it is. It's so good. Alright guys, so I'm gonna now go off and run some errands. I'll be back. It's about 2 p.m. right now, and I will be back to show you guys my honest opinion about the foundation, the primer, the concealer, and everything. And I'll be back in about 4 hours just to give you guys an update. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Hey guys, so it's now 7 p.m. and I thought I would check in right now because it's almost like, I would say, 5 hours after I did my makeup, and I wanted to check in with you guys and show you how the makeup is looking, how the foundation is wearing. And I do have to say, from looking at me right now, my makeup still looks pretty good. It looks pretty flawless, I would say. The only thing is that I am starting to get a little bit oily on my T-zone. If you can see, like right here, that's where I tend to get really oily. I do have a little bit of darkness going on around the inner part of my eye, which could just mean that this concealer is obviously not full coverage. So sometimes, you know, I do prefer a full coverage concealer because sometimes, girl, we really need a concealer that's going to hide those flaws. And for me, a full coverage concealer is something that I always prefer. But it's not a bad concealer. I think if you're somebody that's looking for like a medium coverage, I think it'll be okay. Now I do feel like there is a little bit of breakage or a little bit of foundation that's been like sitting on top of my skin here, which could possibly be the concealer not blending well with the foundation here. I do see that it hasn't settled into my fine lines, especially right here in the middle of my face, like in the middle of my forehead. I tend to have like these little like lines like in between there. It's because I frown a lot and I tend to get these lines in my forehead. But the foundation is good, you guys. I think it's long wearing. It's lasted a long time. It looks pretty good. And the highlights and the blush and the contour still look like flawless. I feel like that stayed put like pretty good, and it's only been like 5 hours. So I'm actually pretty happy with the foundation and everything overall, how everything's looking. Now we're gonna do the flash test and see if I do get any flashback when I take a picture. So I'm gonna take my camera out and we're gonna turn this baby on. We're gonna put it to flash and we're gonna see if we get any flashback. Guys, I don't see any flashback with my foundation concealer, so that's good. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and kind of give you guys an idea of how these products work, how I feel about them. And you guys let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts? Do you like this foundation? Do you think it held up pretty good? It's only been 5 hours, but I think if I would have had it a little bit longer, I think it still would have held up pretty good. Let me know down in the comments below, what are your thoughts? And if you have tried the Fenty Beauty concealer and also the powder. I know there were mixed reviews about this, so I would love to know what are your thoughts and your own opinions. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Mwah.